in the building, y'all. Now, we don't know how this interview is going to go either. Because it's been one of those days. I think after this whole red moon and everything that happened, everybody been, switched up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we have Mr. Fabian Glenn in the building.
Tiger.
All right,
Fabian Glenn in the building.
Where did Tiger come from, though?
Oh, I gotta give the PG version since we're on the radio.
Let me guess, Street Fighter 4.
Street Fighter 4, no sir. I do remember Street Fighter going to King Street Pizza out in Springfield, Mass. They had the arcade right there, but actually I got Tiger because of a song. Actually, so my name is Fabian, so I'm named after my dad, who's also Fabian, and there was a singer during that time frame called Fabiano Forte, but they just called him Fabian when he came to the States. He had a very famous song called Tiger, and that is how I got my nickname Tiger. Yeah.
Okay, you have to say it twice. I can't just say Tiger.
You could just say Tiger, but then people kind of confuse sometimes. But to tell you the truth, though, when I'm working with the kids, they always just end up calling me Tiger anyway, so it's fine.
So it's not like Tiger the rapper.
Oh no, not at all. It's more
so
like
it's Tiger,
like the animal. Yeah,
okay, like the
fierce,
real word. Like you spell it correctly.
Passionate animal. Yes, it's veracity. Yeah.
Okay, so I know that you are a huge asset to your community.
Try to be.
And I know that you are now working on Black Legacy Presents.
Yep.
And that airs on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yes, because we had to move our. There was a scandalous schedule on Thursdays that we had to try to avoid, so we moved our schedule.
Yeah, you have to avoid because of scandalous things on Thursday.
Yeah,
that's whack. But anyway, wow. I'm just saying because
she is trying to get away with murder.
She is trying to get away with murder.
I like Viola, and I love Carrie. Do not get me wrong, Carrie. I love you, but I cannot get into Scandal.
You can't.
I cannot.
I mean,
I have not watched. I tried to watch the first episode, and I'm like, no.
I know why.
Why?
I know why.
Why?
Yo, put it out there.
Let me know, because I just can't get in it.
About it later.
I think is it because she's hooking up with the white man? Is that what it is? I'll throw it out there.
Now we can talk about it off the air. This just took a negative note. Negative note.
I believe in a world of transparency, so it's okay if it was because she's dating a white woman. They talked about it on the show about how she's dating a white woman in power, dealing with her daddy issues out on the.
Look, she said daddy issues. Okay, let me clarify.
I'm sipping my tea.
Listen,
ain't none of your business though.
It is not because of that at all. I just don't like it. I can't get into the storyline.
Okay.
Like, I just don't like it.
Okay.
I'm more of a Madam Secretary, good wife type person.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't do the Hunger Games. I didn't do Sons of Anarchy. Like, I don't get into it. I can't. I'm a Power girl now. But
Power is a good show.
I can't get into the Scandal. I just can't.
Are you into Empire too?
Look.
Chicago PD comes on. So I like Chicago PD.
Boy,
so you need someone to get shot at, essentially, for you to enjoy the show.
Apparently, I need guns and violence.
You need gun violence and women getting slaps. That's what this needs to happen.
Gun and violence to her. Like the first time you saw her on the second season, first episode.
She came out in the 8, right?
They lowered her down in a cage in an 8 outfit.
Oh, I was a little offended by that, actually. I was slightly offended.
She made the statement of stating they think that we're caged animals. So why were you offended? She said what?
I mean, honestly, I was.
That's the whole point of it.
And that was the whole point of it. That's very true. That was the whole point of it.
So
but I was slightly offended when I first saw that. And the thing is, I love the show. I love Empire. If I had to pick the two, it would be Power over Empire. I'm not gonna lie. I would pick Power. No, I think it's more like a green Granny Smith opposed to like a red Macintosh, sir. But
look, he didn't name the apple.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it was necessarily apples and oranges, sir. I'm inclined to disagree, but I
love me some Power.
I personally like the show Power, but I do like Empire.
Oh no! Wait. So since we're gonna disagree, we need to discuss what is similar between Power and Empire.
Oh yeah,
nothing.
I don't know. I think you still have the black family and the very fact that they come up from a honestly a drug dealing background, and they rose to power. One used to chose music, the other one chose the club industry.
Okay.
You have a very strong, dominant male, light skinned. I was like, I'm just saying, like, you start comparing. And I was like, when you start comparing, you start seeing a lot of similarities. And as an individual who does write their own scripts and movies, I do see a lot of similar character development inside of it. You have the crazy partner, no different than in Empire. In Empire, he killed his crazy partner. But in the TV show Power, he kept his crazy partner.
Yes.
And he decided to walk away. So I do feel like there's a lot of similarities. I think now in season 2 for both the seasons, they're starting to veer off and sound a little bit different. But the first season, I do feel like they're very similar.
Okay.
No, I don't see it.
Okay, fair enough.
I would say I don't. I think Power has its own structure in the way that it's going. I like. Mm-hmm. With Empire, it's. I don't know if it's because there's commercials.
The commercials.
I can't stand commercials.
Yeah. I download my videos. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just the Hollywood version of Power.
See, but
it is a little more watered down because there's certain things they would not be able to get away with because of like FCC regulations they have on TV. They wouldn't be able to get away with it. Like Power does because they're a private paid prescription. I think Showtime or HBO, one of the two.
So what's throwing me, I think it's the music industry aspect of Empire. They're trying to do the music industry thing. There's nothing to do with the music industry in Power.
Yeah, they chose the club string. They closed.
And then they're trying to incorporate some of everything in Power. You have the gay person in hip hop.
Yep.
Then you have, the crazy mama. You got the daddy that'll kill anybody. There's a lot of different components in Power. I mean, in Empire.
Yeah, it's so similar to say the same thing.
It's more of, I was this, I want to get out of it.
But I'm still in it.
Exactly. And I can't seem to get out of it because my wife likes it, even though we have to get
Lucius ain't selling drugs trying to.
But he did to start off. And in fact, if I recall correctly, he sold out his woman.
Yeah, he was a hustler. But I mean, that is like a side note to what's really going on in the show.
Not apparently to this FBI prosecutor. No, it is not.
Look,
it is not a side note.
All right, okay, we're coming back. We gotta come back.
Just saying.
So, Fabian.
Yes.
Let's talk about Black Legacy Presents.
Sure. Black Legacy Presents, I think, is an awesome program. We are shooting when we are shooting in the studio, we're shooting at Channel 13, that's downtown in Worcester, WCCA TV Channel 13. When we're shooting on location, which is something we've done a lot more this year, is actually shoot on location for the show, which has been really awesome. We've had some great guests. We've had a diversity. I think the diversity of our guests have grown because we're able to shoot on location opposed to shooting in the studio. Black Legacy tackles, I want to say everything. It tackles the family problems. It tackles the problems inside the schools. It tackles the issues inside of politics, and they don't they don't pull their punches. They have no problem kind of just getting live on TV, and I think that's probably what really differentiates us from other programs as well.
Okay.
And this year, I think we've been blessed. We were able to have actually an intern this year, which allows us to also start encompassing the youth inside the city of Worcester and giving them the soft skills that are necessary to achieve the goals that they like to achieve, whether it was inside of the city or outside of the city as well.
All right. So, how many people are on the show? Are there hosts of the show, or what's the setup or format of it?
Yes, there is a host for every show. The host always rotates. That was something we all agreed upon. We didn't want one person to be the host to get all that glory and limelight. So this way, there's no.
And there's not that. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Do you need a hug? I'll come across this table. I will embrace you in Jesus' name. I'll do it. So, we don't have the same hosts. I think we do have a repeat of hosts. I would say a repeat host would definitely be Keisha Latulet. She's definitely been a very repeating host. I know they've been trying to have me on the repeat host as a repeating host. However, I prefer the background. I very much prefer working in the switchboard, making sure things are running on time. That's my thing. I do not like running on CPT. I don't do that either. That just frustrates the bejesus out of me. So that's usually the role I play. I will keep you in I kid you not. So that's something I work on a lot, and I also work with the youth as well inside the program. So
okay, so your history has been a lot of dealing with the youth.
For sure.
You were at Dynamy for a little while. Luck, right?
Yep, I'm with Luck. I take the kids out into the woods. Essentially, that's right. Black men take kids out into the woods. So I take them out into the woods. I teach them.
What do you do in the woods?
What do I do in the woods? Sure, we go fishing, we go hiking, we go camping. We learn how to build a very safe fire. Shout out to California. We build very safe fires. We teach them like what plants they could eat should the situation call up. How to avoid certain poisonous plants as well. Wilderness first aid, things of that nature. Canoeing, cool. Whitewater rafting. And I'm getting my certifications as time moves forward as well. So eventually, I'd like to be able to run a
Boy Scouts thing.
Yes, but targeting kids of color, because you'd be surprised when it comes to the weather getting warmer every year, and we have plenty of lakes inside the city of Worcester, and the people who drown the most are kids of color because they do not know how to swim.
Right. Yeah.
And I want to change that. In fact, I was talking to Raquel Castro, who works with the Department of Public Health, and there is
I thought she worked for the city.
She does work for the city, but I guess that's her role in the city is Department of Public Health.
Wow. I thought she was a youth coordinator, but go ahead.
Yes. Yes, that's what it is. She's the youth coordinator at the Department of Public Health.
Okay.
There's this program she plugged me into, and I think it's been a blessing. It's called Wheels to Waters.
Yes.
And it is a program that is run out of the YMCA and the separate branches inside the city of Worcester, whether it's Greendale or Central Branch, whatever the case might be. And what happens is they'll pick kids up, give them a snack, and teach them how to swim. And I think the cap off is at the age of 18. And I've been plugging it out there ever since because I feel that is...
Didn't Wheels to Water cancel out last year, and it was called something else this year?
Oh, I don't know. That's what I was informed. This year, I do know it was called Wheels for Waters. Maybe next year, they're probably going to call it something else.
Because the funding comes from a certain person. Go ahead.
So I think it's actually awesome, great program. It's teaching kids how to use. I didn't learn how to swim until my boy pushed me into the deep end of the pool, and I was like, I nearly drowned, and he was like, I just assumed you knew how to swim. Like, what do you mean? You're 12 years old. How do you not know how to swim? And I was like, oh, okay. So since then, I've become a very strong swimmer. Because that's not being a repeat performance. The Lord may call me, but it ain't gonna be because I'm drowning. So
I understand that. Like with me, I didn't my mom doesn't know how to swim. My father doesn't know how to swim. So me and my sister didn't learn how to swim. Once I had children, I was like, y'all gonna learn how to swim because I cannot die in the water, but I can't save none of my children if something was to pop off. So
I still don't know how to swim.
I know how not to drown.
So you can tread water.
I can.
Okay.
I cannot drown. Like I can get from the deep end to the shallow end.
He's not gonna drown.
But anyway,
Girl.
So I cannot drown, but I can't save one of my babies if something was to happen.
Right, you have to. You have to be able to get out. That I like that. I like what you're doing because I didn't think about it until you said it. Like there are a lot of children, particularly of color, that don't know how to. They go in the water, they make the little sand castles, they run out there jumping, kicking, and look, I go underwater, but they can't.
Oh no, they can't swim.
Yeah, they can't swim.
That's a crying shame.
Yeah,
and I was like, but you could hotwire a car. You could steal a pack of Skittles, but you can't swim.
Did you just say Skittles like for real?
Skittles.
He did the Skittles.
This radio show today, Lord.
I'm gonna throw it out there. See, that's the problem. Like, we will teach our kids how to get by the system, use the system, abuse the system, but we don't teach them how to not be on the system in the first place. That's a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? As a person who did grow up actually in the system, I was now they call it DCF, but at the time it was called DSS, out of Springfield. And I bounced around from foster home to foster home. I lived in an orphanage at one point in my time. I had all kinds of issues that, a kid growing up in that system would actually have. One of the things is you never actually teach our kids not how to be in that system in the first place.
Okay.
That's my problem. Like, you know what? At 11 years old, I could rob your house blind. I could roll through, slip through the window, take your stuff. But did I know how to ride a bike? Did I know how to write a very persuasive essay? That's a problem. Our kids are going into college not being prepared for what the real world looks like. And that's something I actively strive for. Because I'll give you a prime example. After this meeting, after this radio program, I'm giving a kid a lesson on how to drive.
Okay.
Because she can't actually afford driving school, which is absurd. It's like rent. It's like rent nowadays. It is absurd.
And then the insurance for the kids, but we could talk about that.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd. So I was like, all right, you can't afford it? I'll just give you a lesson. Mm-hmm. And she was like, really? And I was like, that's fine. And I asked her, I was like, why didn't you ask me before? She was like, well, you know how black people are, like they don't.
No, you ain't on my insurance.
I was like, you know what? No, like to me, it's much more that you're being successful than anything else. And she was like, all right, so.
But how many people are like you?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. I just know that something I learned as a kid, because I was really into philosophy as a kid, and I think that really helped me out through like much more darker times, was something that stuck with me for a hard body. The needs of the many easily outweigh the needs of the few, even if that few is just you.
Indeed.
And that's why I was just like, all right, cool. Like, like the community has to come first. The community must be able to be built, and I must participate positively in the community to ensure a successful community.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So about the show, this is because you touched on. Sometimes it gets a little hectic. Can you give us an example of one of the hectic or tough times during one of your episodes?
Oh man,
talk about one.
Just one. Just give us one. There was probably this one time when we had a guest and they were talking about how hard it was to get approved by the City of Worcester to open up their restaurant. And they were just like the red tape, the constant permits. He was like, literally every time I came up and said, hey, I have my permit, I have what you asked me for, now it's one more thing. It's one more thing. It's one more thing. And it was definitely hinted at. If I was the host, I probably, as you guys are aware, I probably just would have tackled it very directly. Was because he was a person of color is why he kept running into constant issues of trying to get approved, opposed to if he
I
was...
want to know who. I'm just saying.
I'm waiting for it to slip out.
So it is that issue. He did get his restaurant approved, and it's awesome.
Is it soul food?
Huh? Is it a soul food restaurant? Is that what you're asking me? Yes, it is a soul food restaurant.
Okay. Shout out to Rob. Go ahead.
And I've been there.
Will, huh? Who almost didn't get a chance to feed Will?
And I think that's a problem, that we shouldn't be facing those issues. Like if you've done what you're supposed to as far as the proper documentation,
right,
then you should be able to get approved without an issue.
Indeed.
There should be no needing of greasing wheels. I shouldn't have to be like, oh, let me call my boy real quick who happens to be working at City Hall to make sure my paperwork gets pushed through. We shouldn't live in that kind of society. We should if I did my paperwork, I did what I was supposed to do, thank you. Now I can see there's certain extreme circumstances. I didn't raise the money for this permit, but I know I can qualify for this permit. Something like that can be worked out. But I know personally some of the things I've seen at City Hall and even at the State House where I was like, that was a favor. There was no way you knew that person, or there was no way. Like, that was a personal favor that was called upon for whatever the case might be. And I get it. Lord knows I do it all the time. But the way I've seen it being used to keep other people from being successful, I've heard, and I'm going to throw it out there, and this is something I want to talk about for a while. I heard the same individual who owns the Fix, who also owns, and these are a group of individuals who own like the 111 Chop House, Mezcal. I hear they purposely make it extremely difficult for the side vendors, whether they're hot dogs, whatever, to get approved in the City of Worcester because they feel they're pulling money from their restaurants. And I was like, that is one of the shadiest things I think I've ever heard in my natural-born life. How are you going to try to keep somebody else from being successful?
And that is the process that I like to call systemic racism. And that's how things like that happen. Like when people say, Worcester's racist, how is Worcester... What is racist about? You can go out there and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do whatever you want to do. And it's like, no, that's not true.
No, I think President Obama said it best, where he said the system is designed for justice, but it is being constructed and construed to ensure injustice. And I think it was on a Vice News interview or something like that. I had heard the clip on it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's true, absolutely." Because the host had asked him, do you believe the justice system is racist inside the United States of America? And it was a very clear point answer, and I'm glad he answered it. One, and I'm very glad he answered it the way he did. I think he didn't pull his punches, but he didn't want to throw people underneath the bus either. So.
Okay.
I gotcha. All right, Mr. Man. Look, he came in here like I'm gonna just do how I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth,
He was nervous.
Yes, I may put off well, but I definitely get very nervous standing in front of people. Or
do you get argumentative when you're nervous?
Do I get argument?
Empire and Power are the same show.
I personally think it's the same show, but no, I can't say I get argumentative. But I can't say what do I do? I know I'm sure I have a tale.
I was just joking.
Okay, fair enough.
No, but I don't want to answer it anyway.
Right. So I have two 6-year-olds and a 5-year-old nieces that live with me, and I'm like, okay. I'm listening to Fabian on Flavor 105.5
FM
Worcester, Positive Impact Radio Show. Boom! And I say, you know what? I want my kids to be able to learn how to swim. How could we get in contact with you to ensure that or inquire about that?
Sure. I would say, honestly, to tell you the truth, the best way to get a hold of me is probably by my cell phone. And
he does answer the phone.
I do answer my phone. Because that's something I get upset about. I was like, you gave me your cell phone for you not to answer it. So I'll put it out there. My cell phone's 508-615-7069. Once again, that's 508-615-7069.
I'm so happy you said 0 and not O. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, that just doesn't make any sense.
Because you know how people 508-605.
Like, it's not an O. O is really a letter.
Not an O.
O is a letter. And if
that is your pet peeve, all the pet peeves in the world, you got that is your pet peeve.
But I'm just saying, I was so happy you said 0.
Don't say
O. I can see the look at her just like,
we're watching the 0 right now.
Zero. No, honestly, I do look forward to definitely building more into the city of Worcester, and as far as connecting people with other people, I feel is like the art of being a good businessman is putting people together. And I feel like that's something the city of Worcester is not good at, to tell you the truth. Like, a lot of people just like, did you know this resource? I was like, no. You know,
they hide it from certain people, just like going to all of these political functions.
Is there a particular political function that you...
Look, you really?
I'm just asking you.
Anyway, so I just went to one on Friday for the current mayor.
Yep.
I was supposed to go to that.
Look, I almost didn't because it was raining. But, so I got there and I ran into... What is her name? She's the director for Ivy Child. I don't remember what her name is at this moment. But we were there and she's like, Chantel, do you see anybody else that looks like us? I'm like, no. And then 2 black people walked in. We're like, who's that? And the fact that we didn't know who they were, I was like,
that's more shocking.
Where they come from?
Exactly.
Where they come from and how did, you know what I mean? So, you know, me being who I am, I'm going to ask you who you are. So that's what I did. So I found out who these 2 gentlemen were.
Okay.
But they were just shopping because it was that Compton Collective. You know what I mean? So
and that is a good place to go shopping too.
It wasn't I was coming because I was invited because I knew it was, I saw people walking in, so I walked over too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that annoys me at the fact that you want our vote, but you're not marketing to those outside of who you already know. That bothers me with all people that are running for office. You only want to hit those that you see, but you don't want to talk to those that you don't see. Like, you need to get outside.
Yeah, you do.
At the end of the day, go behind City Hall and talk to them people. Mm-hmm. Stop throwing all these, we're going to the Compton, what is it called?
Compton Collective.
There you go. That, or we're going to the Jewish place.
That
what is
synagogue?
it, JCC?
Oh,
we're going to Mechanics Hall, and we're going over here and over there. Why don't you just go outside? Why can't you walk down the street and go, you know what I mean? Why can't you go to the park and talk to the people there?
Because they want to go to Webster Square.
Yeah, they want to be all that profile.
Square and Newton Square.
It makes me upset.
I can understand that. And someone did ask me, I was like, are you going to run for office one day, Fabian? I said,
That's
no.
That's what you keep asking me. Like, run for mayor.
I have no problems telling people no. Because I feel after a while, you're starting to trade favors for favors. Mm-hmm. It's no longer about helping out your communities. And I think it's very tough to stay connected to your community if you're always trading favors. So.
Mm-hmm. Because you're losing who you are. And if you're not strong enough to stand on your own 2 feet and say no, you're going to fall into that trap.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
That's why I can't do it because no.
I would like to see you in office. I think you would ruffle a lot of feathers though if you were in office. Oh, absolutely. I think you might get like. I think you may slap someone in office at some point. I think you may just like backhand someone. I can't believe you. That was just stupid. I can see you do it. I can see you just like backhanded someone real quick. I was like, now grab me some water. I can't believe it. You would be just like Viola Davis and How to Get Away with Murder. I think you really would. I think you really would.
That's why I can't. Because I know how I am. I know I am off the top and I'm going to say anything whenever I feel like it. And me being in an office like that, I cannot be. If I can't be who I am, I can't do it. I can't.
Oh, I know. I've seen her in meetings. Trust me. I've seen her in meetings.
Forgive me. I couldn't disagree more. I think you can handle yourself in that way.
Oh, God.
I think you could do it. I think there's something that you're apprehensive about, but I don't think it. I think it has more to do with fear, honestly, than anything else.
Ooh, throw it out there. Throw it out there.
There's something about it that makes you a little nervous.
Is it the ceiling? Is it the glass ceiling?
I'm not scared.
Listen, when people hear the word scared, they're like, "Oh, I ain't scared." No, I'm not saying scared as in.
I know.
I think the responsibility of it may seem a little bit overwhelming. Maybe that could be it, but there's something apprehensive about you. Because just thinking about it, you would just like, can't do it. I can't do it.
I think he's right. I think everyone should have a dream, and the dream should be scary.
I agree with that. Like, I want to be the next Oprah. Like, that is my dream. I want to be on TV, and I want to.
You want to be the next Oprah, or you want to be You want to be you.
I want to be me, but I want to be in that capacity where
you can give away a car, like randomly.
This fool right here.
That's all I want. I don't want
no, because Oprah has given back. She's had the TV. She's done the radio. I want to be on TV, and I want to touch people with what I say, how I say it, and who I am. Mm-hmm. That is it.
And
that's all
it's possible for you to do that in that position.
Yeah.
You just have to stay true to yourself.
Indeed.
Which I believe you could, so I don't understand what the problem is.
We're not talking.
Shut up and take us out!
I can't. I am not running for nothing. Ever in life.
Well, I certainly hope so, but...
you should, and you should.
If I ran for office, I really do believe it'd come down to like trading favorites for favorites to get things done, and I'm not okay with that. And I believe it's just
I can't hold my tongue.
I'm a talker. My mouth. I know. I know what God gifted me with. It's not doing something in that structure. I can sit down and talk with people, and I can listen to people, and I can bring things out of people. I can't do that other stuff.
See, I don't know.